Have you ever noticed how so many of our favorite stories, whether it's a blockbuster movie or an ancient myth, kind of feel the same? Well, there's a reason for that. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that pattern. We're going to deconstruct a modern fairy tale to show you one of the most powerful storytelling blueprints in history, the hero's journey.
So let's just start with that question right there. Seriously, what if you had a power that could save everyone you cared about, but every single time you used it, it took a little piece of you with it? That's the exact problem at the heart of our story today, about a princess whose magical gift was also her greatest curse. All right, our story kicks off in the kingdom of Whisperwood. It's a land that's constantly under threat from this evil sorcerer named Sero. The only thing keeping everyone safe is their princess, Evie. But the way she protects them, well, it's a dark secret and a seriously flawed power. Okay, so this lays out the impossible situation she's in. Her gift? Her tears have magical healing powers. Pretty amazing, right? But look at the cost. Every tear she sheds literally drains her life force. So to save her people, she has to be in constant pain, which means she's slowly killing herself. It's a complete paradox, and you can see it's totally unsustainable. And this right here, this is her breaking point. You can just feel the desperation in that quote. She knows she can't keep going like this. She doesn't just need more power, she needs to understand it. And in the hero's journey, this is what we call the call to adventure. That moment the hero finally realizes, okay, this isn't working, I have to find another way. And that other way shows up in the form of a really old legend. A wise man from her village steps forward with this little glimmer of hope, a possible answer that's going to send her on one heck of a dangerous quest.
The phoenix. Yeah, we've all heard of it, but it's not just a magical bird. It's the ultimate symbol of rebirth, of transformation. Think about it, a creature that gets its strength because it was destroyed, not in spite of it. For Evie, who literally feels like she's being destroyed by her own gift, this is the perfect, if totally impossible sounding solution.
So her quest is laid out in these three distinct stages. It's what the great mythologist Joseph Campbell called the Road of Trials. It kicks off with a test of her mind. She's got to decipher this ancient map. Then comes a test of her body, surviving the treacherous jungle. And it all leads up to this final supernatural challenge, crossing a mystical clearing. Every step is designed to prepare her for what's coming.
And this brings us to the real heart of her journey. After she's faced all these external dangers out in the jungle, the final test, it's not about physical strength at all. The journey turns inward, and now she has to face an enemy that's way more terrifying, herself.
So she finally makes it to this clearing, probably expecting some huge monster or a guardian she has to fight, but instead, she finds the Nymph of Truth. And this nymph, she's not interested in a battle of swords or magic. She's there to force a battle inside Evie's own mind. Now listen closely to this line, because it changes everything. Water has memory. With just those three words, the nymph completely reframes Evie's curse. The pain isn't just a switch she flips to turn on her magic. No, the pain is a message from her past that she's been pushing down, a story that she still doesn't understand. The nymph urges her to let a single tear fall into the lake, and the water just shows her everything. It all comes flooding back. She's forced to relive this deeply repressed childhood trauma, her uncle's sorrow, the same villain she's fighting today, betraying their family. She sees him battling her mother. And then, the most painful part, she sees her mother sacrificing her own life and her magic to save her. That is the source of her pain. That is the memory in the water.
I mean, can you imagine the weight of all that truth, the grief, the betrayal, the sacrifice? It's just too much. She cries until she has nothing left, and she collapses. From the outside, it looks like it's over. Her journey has ended in failure. But here's the thing about the hero's journey. That moment you hit rock bottom, some call it the ordeal or the abyss, it is never the end. In fact, it's the one thing that absolutely has to happen before the hero can be reborn. And for a minute, it really does seem like all hope is lost. Word gets back to her village that their protector is gone. Her enemy, Sorrow, finds out her village isn't hidden anymore. He shows up, finds her in this glass coffin, and thinks he's finally won. But then, something incredible happens. The prophecy wasn't literal. She doesn't rise from flames. She rises from her own tears, the very thing that used to symbolize her pain and her weakness. She's reborn from her past, and she's stronger and braver than she ever was before. She has become the phoenix. And look at this transformation. It's total. Her old power was a transaction. You put pain in, you get magic out. But her new power, it's foundational. It literally runs in her veins, a direct inheritance from her mother's love and sacrifice. By finally facing her past, she didn't get rid of her trauma, she integrated it, turning the source of her greatest weakness into the source of her greatest strength. This brings us to the final stage, the return. The hero, now transformed and armed with new power and wisdom, has to come back to the world she left behind to fix the very problem that started her journey. This is the moment. She confronts Sorrow. And when he calls her weak, just like he said her mother was, she's armed with the truth. She reframes her mother's death not as a moment of weakness, but as an act of ultimate power, a sacrifice that now lives inside of her. She's not just Princess Evie anymore. She is the true sorceress. And with this new power, this new understanding, defeating Sorrow is almost easy. But the victory isn't just about winning a fight. Yeah, she gets the family jewel back, but more importantly, she reclaims her own story. She was only able to heal her kingdom because she first healed the wound inside herself. And the story ends with this really beautiful new tradition. The people of Whisperwood start telling their wishes to bowls of water. And what this really shows us is that the whole kingdom learned the same lesson their princess did. They've embraced the nymph's wisdom that water has memory. And by doing that, they've come to understand that our past, our pain, our histories, they don't have to be a curse. If we're brave enough to face them, they can actually become the source of our greatest power and our deepest wisdom.